Hello and welcome back to The Broken Doll, and tonight I come to you with this wonderful doll, the Babs doll. And there's her coat of paint. My air-conditioned here room, it dried really fast. It didn't take long for it to dry at all. I raised the air conditioning up to about 67 degrees. It was at 65, a little bit too chilly for me. But anyways, at 67 degrees, it was really great in here. I was able to paint and dry beautifully. But look what I've got. Did it break? No. I had an epiphany. Is that the right word? I don't know. I want to say that word today. The word for today is epiphany. I don't know what to say. I was in the house yesterday, and I said to myself, Tammy, that doll is jointed with old-fashioned screws. Like, dolls today are not like that, where you can get to the screws really easy. If not, they're way down in a hole if they're plastic and all this stuff. And I got thinking to myself, you can unscrew the arm so you can paint it. Now, I can even do it with the shoulder here. If I wanted to do it with the shoulder here, I could do it with the shoulder just as well. But the only thing is, I try to, and it's really in there, and I don't want to hurt the doll. So, I was also asked, was this cage on purpose? Yes, this is the design of the doll. The doll was designed with this wire mesh cage. It is part of the doll. You're going back to 1919. They work with what they had, and this is what they had for their day. If they wanted, like, his doll is really, another new word, rudimentary. I don't know exactly where I'm getting these words from, but what I'm trying to say is it's very, I'm not saying caveman style, but very early dolls were like this. They were built with materials that they had around them. And again, remember, we're coming out of World War I, shortage of materials. And so if we understand the times, we'll understand the doll. And that's what I'm trying to express here when it comes to this doll. They used what they had. And so the dolls look rough. They look, I'm trying to find that word that's just not coming out of my mouth, but they're very basic. But what they did with those basic ways, they made these wonderful dolls out of it. And out came this wonderful doll. Yeah, she doesn't look right to the eye. She doesn't, I'll be honest with you. She doesn't look like a doll that we see. I'm going to say right. I got to be careful with that word right. For its day, nobody probably batted an eyelash at the doll because you're trying to sell something to the everyday person out there, and the everyday person was not rich. You know, they were struggling, and so they're reaching into, they had to keep things cheap as well, and this stuff was cheap. Wood was everywhere. You know, one of the things I was reading a book by, it was a real old book too, about Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln's father, when they were traveling down the Mississippi, they were right on the Mississippi itself. And what did they travel on? Was it a barge? Well, they made their own barge, and it was made out of whiskey barrels. And inside was whiskey. He took the money he had and bought whiskey. Why did he buy whiskey? Because it was what they could trade for goods. He wasn't an alcoholic by no means. What it was, I'm not saying his father didn't drink. I think his name was Thomas. He didn't drink. It wasn't, he probably did or didn't, I don't know. But one thing I did read about is that they were able to take that and use it to barter with. So did you put your money into dollar bills? No. Did you put it into diamonds? No. What was that store that he was going to go to? What was it going to trade with? It was going to trade with the alcohol. It was so the alcohol was going to be the trade and had value more than the doll or anything else. And he was able to barter with that. And they traveled down the Mississippi to their homestead. I think it was by a book. His name was Ketchum, something like that. Ketchum. And it was I got the book still somewhere buried among my books, but it was a very good book about Abraham Lincoln. And the book goes way back to 18-something it was. I think it was 1890s or something like that. I find the books, when they're older like that, you really get a lot more truth because they're closer to the time. And that's what I'm trying to say. They used what they had at the time. Now, go sail down the Mississippi today with barrels of whiskey or whatever was in there, the alcohol, and you're not going to be able to trade with it because that's not today. In today's world, we do a lot of things differently. But in that day and age, that was not unheard of. He was probably just like many other people out there who did the same thing, and then was able to take those barrels and use them to trade with afterwards. So just a little bit of interesting history there. The same when it came to dolls, they used what they had around them, and they were able to take something like this mesh steel cage here, and what I wiped it down with, I took a lot of the rust off of it. I've been just going over it slowly with just a little bit of sewing machine oil. I use my Zoom, and it's just sewing machine oil. And yeah, I did this this what do you call it, oh my goodness, hinge. This hinge here with it, and it cleaned it right up and everything. I was able to get in here and clean this all up. So I'm going to take this other one off in a little bit in front of you. But let's do that right now, actually, because I don't want to paint the doll. And then I'm unscrewing an arm and getting paint all over the place. So what we're going to do is right now in front of us here, I have some of the other screws, and they're sitting in a little bit of machine oil. That's all it is, that machine oil. So let's get this one also off. And this is the screwdriver that we used here to get the head off. There we go. There's one screw out. Never even, like, it's just like it hit me last night. I'm going, did I not unscrew the arms? The arms can, everything's screwed. Like, I think what it is that when you work with as many composition dolls as I have, you've never had these opportunities to do something like this, so you don't think on that level. All of a sudden, I got to go to a different level and go, look at this doll's put together so much differently than most dolls that you've worked on. You can unscrew this doll and have a little bit more leverage at painting the doll. Because I was afraid, how am I going to get in here to paint with this being so tight against it? I don't have to be like that now. So let's unscrew this one. Okay, just trying to keep this flush with it so I can unscrew it. It also gives me the opportunity here to clean up the hinge in a better way. There we go, it's coming. There we go. There. That was a little bit harder, this one, to get out. There, not bad. Oh, there we go. Now we got that arm off. And yeah, and to paint it, I can just paint it and then it back on. Not a problem, you know, just paint it back, just put it back on here like this, and away we go. And now I can clean this up. So we're going to do that right now. Oh, good. So what I do is I take my machine oil, put my cap over here, and I just squeeze in a little bit of, okay, you don't need a whole lot. So I just take some machine oil on this and I just go over it like this. That's how I cleaned up some of this little bit of rust that was on there. I just took some machine oil over it, you know, and that just did the works on it. It worked beautifully on it. It gave it what it needed. You know, just like you would give wood oil, you would, its own oil, its own the linseed oil. The same with these metal pieces. You have to give it its own oil to it. And this worked wonderful. This is machine oil from the sewing machines. Perfect. Don't need anything more than just that. And I got these sitting also in the oil, so they'll get a bit of a cleaning up. And yeah, very nice. Okay, we'll just let that sit. That's nice. There we go. And that just helps it so that it can move. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. All right. Anyhow. Oh, that's just my... Okay, there we go. Just put that like that. We'll put that back there like that. And we have this part done for right now. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. And that's it. And that's all you have to do. Okay, so now we have both the arms off, or I should say not the full arms, but from the shoulder, from the elbow down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to paint the other side of this doll. So we're going to take her and tip her over, tip me over and pour me out. There we go. So let's see what you're seeing here. Get our paint out. There we go. That looks good. Oh yeah, not a problem at all. Now we're going to do the other side. They bend fine. I've been putting machine oil also on these. I just take my brush. I don't want to do it right now because I'm going to paint, and then I'll show you just putting some machine oil on here. It's just worked out wonderful for the doll itself. Let's excuse me for 1 second. I think for the toes, I'm going to go like that with it. All right, so this is the side we're going to work on next. So where's my paint? Back here. Okay, here's my brush. All right, so oh, got my brush already a mess. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. There. Okay. So yeah, it's really something how, oh, they got some chunkies in here, which I don't like. Oh, let's get this. Oh, I don't like this. What's going on with my paint all of a sudden here? I got these little chunky badunkies going on. I think this is going to be the last of when I use this paint. It's starting to, I painted quite a few dolls with this paint. There we go. There we go. some little dry pieces. I don't know what's going on with it, but I want to finish it. So I started with this tone of paint. I got to keep it because this is what I used for the head of to paint the head with. So yeah, this paint's getting kind of old. It did not take this doll. I was out here this morning, and the leg was dry this morning. But I had a few commitments I had to make today. So how is Mabel doing? You know what? She's a little bit better today. Glad we're sticking it out. I'm glad I didn't fold. My heart goes out to her, though, because I know this has been hard. I know she's still a little hissy, but not as bad. Today she's walking on the floor a little bit more. The dog has chased her a couple times, but she seems to be taking it in a little bit more in stride, I want to say, but she's not happy totally with him, but you know what? It's coming, so I'm not marking her too hard with it. So she seems to be taking care of herself quite nicely. So yeah, we left them today. We had to go. My daughter had a doctor's appointment today, and so I was like, well, here we go. We got to leave you. So let's see how well you do with this, you know. And we came back. They were all alive, so they were doing good. It's like they just settle right down. Now the little dog is jealous because Mabel can get up on my computer, and I put my arms around her, and the little dog doesn't like it. So he's like, you only hold me, but it's okay. There's gonna be some. It's like bringing home the new baby, and some jealousy, you know. So a little bit. That doesn't always happen, but there we go. But oh, it's working out. We're getting there. There we go. All right, there we go. Wow, that turned out nice on this side here. Really nice. Like I say here, just the first coat. Never mark the first coat too hard. There we go. All right. So now we got to flip it the other direction now. Okay, let's do our flip. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? Wait. No. I got to do this and then turn it. Right. What am I thinking? Okay. See if I can turn his foot better. There we go. We haven't been going to the thrift stores as much because we don't need it. This is what my daughter and I have been saying. We just don't need. I've got, you know when you have, I mean, I've been down at the auction at the Salvation Army. I do have a number. I do have a bit. But if I don't win the dolls, these dolls in particular, it's not a real loss. They're nice dolls, but I'm not crazy about them. I don't know why, like, and then you're probably saying, well, why did you bid? You know, and that's, the thing is, someone's probably already overbid me. I don't know if I'm going to go back and put a bid on them. I don't usually.